There's a reason why some people rise when doors open and others fall apart under the same light. I remember sitting across from a man once who had just lost everything. Not because he wasn't smart, not because he didn't try, but because he wasn't ready for the moment he prayed for. He told me, with tears rolling down his face, I thought opportunity was the answer. I didn't know it came with weight, and that hit me. We don't talk about that part. The weight of opportunity. The pressure of finally getting what you hope for and realizing you don't know how to carry it. Some people dream of standing on the stage, but never prepare to speak when they get the mic. Others long for promotion, but never build the character to survive leadership. See, opportunity doesn't come to make you strong. It comes to reveal if you are strong. You can get the call. You can be chosen. You can walk into a room filled with the things you once begged for. But the real question is, will you be able to stay there? Life is full of open doors. What's rare is the grace to walk through them well. That's what I want to talk about. Because it's not just about talent, not just about timing. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't fumble what they were meant to carry. You got the jump. 6 figures, corner office, title on the door. Everyone clapped when they heard the news. Friends, family, co-workers, people said, you deserve it. And he believed them until 2 months later, when he sat in that same corner office, staring at his computer screen, drowning in decisions he didn't know how to make. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't ungrateful. He was just unready. That's the side of opportunity we rarely talk about. The part that exposes, not just elevates. Because opportunity is a mirror, not a miracle. It doesn't make you better. It shows you where you really are. And when you step into a new level, the truth about your foundation rises with you. Some people think when the moment comes, they rise to the occasion. But the truth is, we don't rise to the moment, we fall to our level of preparation. People fantasize about being chosen, about being seen, being promoted, being called up. They say, if I just had that chance. But opportunity doesn't validate potential, it tests it. It checks if what's in you can match what's ahead of you. That's why some people get the opportunity of a lifetime and panic, not because they're weak, but because they thought the moment would change them. They didn't realize the moment would demand everything they didn't practice for. Opportunity is not a reward, it's a responsibility. A spotlight that not only shows the world who you are, but shows you who you are. It's not just the stage. It's the silence before your name is called. It's the decisions that no one claps for. It's the pressure to deliver, not just dream. You think you're being given something when opportunity knocks, but in reality, you're being asked something. Are you ready to carry what you're stepping into? That's why it's not enough to want the door to open. You have to prepare for what's on the other side. The pressure, the complexity, the demand, the misunderstanding, the loneliness, the expectations. Because the opportunity won't slow down to match your level. It will expose it loudly. Too many people collapse under success, not because they were weak, but because they never expected opportunity to come with such weight. They thought preparation was optional. They thought being talented was enough. But the truth is, potential is only the seed. Preparation is the soil. Without it, nothing grows, no matter how much sunlight you get. You don't prepare when the door opens. You prepare before anyone knows your name. You prepare in obscurity, when no one's watching, when it feels like nothing is happening. That's the part most people skip. They want the harvest without the hardening. But the ones who last, the ones who rise and stay there, are the ones who treated the unseen moments like they mattered. You want the opportunity, build the capacity. Because when the call comes, when the door opens, when the spotlight hits your face, it won't ask you how much you dreamed. It will ask, are you ready? You got promoted, but he didn't last. At first, he walked in with fire, confident, sharp, ready to prove something. But as the weeks went on, something shifted. The pressure started to show. Not in the big things, but in the small cracks. Snapping at his team, avoiding hard conversations, making emotional decisions, blaming others when things slipped. He had the talent, he had the credentials. But under the surface, something was missing. The position was right, but the person wasn't ready. That's what no one tells you when you're chasing success. It's not just about what you can do. It's about who you are when no one's looking. Talent opens doors, yes. Timing can create momentum, but only character keeps the door from slamming shut in your face. See, talent might get you noticed, but character is what makes people trust you. And trust is the currency that opportunity runs on. Without it, you might make it to the top, but you won't stay long because what's in you will always leak out, especially under pressure. And pressure doesn't build character, it reveals it. Just like a squeezed lemon doesn't produce apples, your core will always tell on you when things get tight. Character is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing the right thing when it's boring, hard, or invisible. It's about owning your mistakes, keeping your word, staying grounded when the room tilts in your favor, and most importantly, it's about self-mastery. If you can't lead you, you'll never be able to lead anything else for long. There's something dangerous about having more talent than discipline. It creates a gap, a space between how you look and who you are. And the bigger that gap grows, the more unstable everything becomes. Because you can fake competence, but you can't fake character. Not for long. Eventually your choices catch up. Eventually your private habits spill into your public platform. And when they do, it's never quiet. This is why so many people crash after climbing, not because they weren't good enough, but because they didn't build the emotional scaffolding to hold their success. They never developed the internal structure to carry external weight. And the higher you go, the more that structure matters. Without it, the same success you worked so hard for can bury you. What most people call luck is often just preparation colliding with integrity. It's not just having a gift, it's guarding it. And if you don't have the character to protect what you've built, everything you've built can become a trap. That's why your real work begins long before anyone hands you the title. The way you show up for people, the way you handle pressure, the way you treat those who can't do anything for you, that's what builds character. Not applause, not promotion, not validation. Those are outcomes. But character, that's a decision made over and over again, quietly, privately, daily. Because when the opportunity shows up, it will test more than your skills. It will test your soul. And if your character can't carry the weight, everything else will eventually fall. He told me, I thought getting here would feel different. He had everything, position, platform, praise. On paper, he looked like he made it. But sitting alone in his office one night, he admitted something most people are too afraid to say out loud. I didn't know success would feel this heavy. And that's the truth no one warns you about. Every open door carries invisible weight. the pressure of expectation, the burden of being consistent, the emotional toll of being seen. Opportunity looks glamorous from the outside, but the higher you go, the more intense it becomes. Not because you're weak, but because success has layers no one talks about. People assume opportunity is a break. Sometimes it's a stretch. It will stretch your time, your energy, your focus, your patience, your discipline. It demands more than talent. It demands stamina. Everyone wants to shine, but no one tells you how much heat comes with the spotlight. You don't just carry the title, you carry the responsibility, the criticism, the fear of failure, the pressure to perform on days you don't even feel like showing up. You walk into the room excited. Then the weight hits you. Now people expect things from you. Now they're watching, judging, questioning, counting on you. And the truth is, if you're not anchored within, that pressure can shake you from the inside out. That's why opportunity isn't always a blessing if you haven't built the internal strength to bear it. It's not just about getting the chance. It's about carrying the chance with clarity, calm, and consistency. It's about staying steady when the environment shifts, when people change, when things stop going according to plan, because that's when the real test shows up. The pressure isn't there to destroy you. It's there to expose what's not built yet. And if you pay attention, it will show you where you need to grow. The late nights, the hard decisions, the loneliness, the silence between applause. These moments aren't failures, they're training. They're building something in you that success alone can't create. Everyone sees the reward, no one sees the weight. And if you envy someone else's position, you better ask yourself if you're ready for their pressure. Because the two always come together. You don't get one without the other. You don't just inherit the fruit, you inherit the fight that came with it. That's why your preparation matters. Not just the visible kind, the emotional kind. The kind that says, I can hold my ground when things get loud. I can lead when it's not fun. I can handle pressure without crumbling. Because the greater the opportunity, the heavier the expectation. And the more grace you need, not just to receive the moment, but to carry it well. Opportunity won't ask if you're comfortable, it will ask if you're strong enough. Not flashy, not impressive, strong. Quiet strength, inner strength. The kind that doesn't bend when things get real, because they will. So, when the door opens, don't just step through it excited, step through it equipped. He looked successful, but inside he was falling apart. He wore the right suit, spoke the right words, moved in the right rooms. But behind the sharp edges and perfect posture was a man slowly unraveling, not because he wasn't capable, but because no one ever taught him how to manage himself. And this is the silent epidemic of success. People soaring on the outside but sinking within, because somewhere along the line we were taught how to impress the world, but not how to master our own minds. We learned how to show up, but not how to hold ourselves up. And the truth is harsh. Success without self-mastery is a ticking time bomb. You can't outrun yourself. You can't promote your way out of insecurity, title your way out of undisciplined habits, or surround yourself with applause loud enough to silence internal chaos. What's not handled internally will eventually show up externally. And when it does, it usually costs more than anyone ever expected. See, self-mastery isn't glamorous. It doesn't come with recognition. No one claps when you walk away from the argument. No one sees you choosing discipline over comfort. But those invisible victories, that's where the real strength is built. That's what determines whether you rise and keep rising or rise and crash hard. Opportunity tests your craft, yes. But more than anything, it tests your control. Can you control your emotions when things don't go your way? Can you control your thoughts when fear creeps in? Can you stay calm in chaos? Can you stay focused in distraction? Because if you can't lead yourself, success becomes dangerous. The more influence you gain, the more damage you do when you're out of control. That's what no one tells you. Some people don't lose because they weren't good enough. They lose because their old habits came with them. They thought the new position would erase the old patterns, but all it did was give those patterns a bigger platform. This is why who you are matters more than what you achieve. You don't rise to the level of your ambition. You fall to the level of your discipline. And if you've built your success on hustle, but not self-awareness, on strategy, but not stillness, it's only a matter of time before something cracks. Mastering yourself isn't about being robotic. It's about being rooted. It's about knowing your triggers, confronting your fears, managing your impulses, and building routines that keep you grounded when life spins. Because it will spin. People will disappoint you. Pressure will come, things will go wrong, and when they do, your emotions will scream for control. If you haven't learned how to lead yourself first, you will hand that control to whatever feels good in the moment and destroy what took years to build. You're not fighting for perfection. You're fighting for stability, the kind of inner foundation that keeps you steady when the storm hits. Because storms don't care how talented you are. They only care how anchored you've become. The truth is, your greatest threat is not out there. It's in here. And if you want to carry opportunity well, you have to become the kind of person who doesn't sabotage their own moment. You have to be someone who can handle you. She had everything she ever wanted, finally. The call came, the door opened, the opportunity arrived, wrapped in everything she had dreamed of. But it didn't feel like she thought it would. It wasn't light, it wasn't simple, it wasn't just smiles and success. It was heavy, demanding, unforgiving. And it required something from her that she had never had to give before. Grace. Not to get the moment, but to handle it. That's the part we rarely prepare for. Everyone talks about the grind to get the opportunity. But what about the grace to carry it? Because opportunity is loud. It's bright. It puts you on display. But grace is quiet strength, inner power. The invisible fuel that holds you steady when everything around you wants to shake you loose. See, some people think grace is just about ease, something magical that makes everything fall into place. But real grace isn't soft, it's strong. It's what keeps you from breaking when the pressure builds. It's what helps you stay calm when chaos hits your doorstep. It's what gives you the ability to carry what you once begged for without crumbling under the weight of it. And make no mistake, what you asked for will test you. The stage will stretch you. The title will challenge you. The opportunity will demand more from you than you thought you had to give. And when that moment comes, it won't be your dreams or your plans that save you. It will be your grace, that quiet resilience, that deeper strength, that calm beneath the storm. We think we need more time, more resources, more strategy, but sometimes what we really need is grace. the grace to breathe when it gets overwhelming, the grace to ask for help without shame, the grace to keep showing up even when you're tired, uncertain, or afraid. Grace doesn't make the road easier. It makes you stronger. Because the truth is, not everything can be fixed with more effort. Some things require capacity. And capacity isn't built by pushing harder. It's built by expanding internally, by learning how to remain composed under pressure, how to stay kind in the middle of conflict, how to keep leading with clarity when your mind is spinning with noise. That's grace. And without it, you don't carry opportunity, you collapse under it. Grace is what lets you grow through the process, not just go through it. It gives you the space to fail without quitting, to adapt without losing yourself, to rise without rushing. It keeps you centered in a world that keeps pulling you off balance. And here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Some people don't burn out because they lack skill or effort. They burned out because they had no grace left. They spent all their energy trying to prove they belonged in the room instead of trusting that they were equipped to thrive in it. They didn't pace themselves. They didn't rest. They didn't breathe. And opportunity became a burden instead of a blessing. So yes, prepare. Yes, build. Yes, dream bigger. But don't just aim for the door to open. Aim to become the person who can stay inside that room with peace, clarity, and strength. Because without grace, opportunity feels like pressure. But with it, it feels like purpose. Now, you know, opportunity isn't the finish line. It's the starting point. And what carries you through isn't just your talent, your timing, or even your ambition. It's who you've become in the quiet, the weight you've trained for, the strength you've built in silence, the discipline, the emotional clarity, the grace. Because when the moment comes, and it will come, it won't give you time to prepare. It will ask you to perform. And in that moment, you won't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your preparation. So build deep, grow strong, master yourself, and never, ever underestimate the power of quiet grace to keep you standing where others fall. The world doesn't need more people chasing the spotlight. It needs more people who can handle it. So when your door opens, don't just walk through it, own it, stand in it, lead in it, stay in it. Be the one who didn't just arrive, but lasted. Your opportunity is coming. Be ready for it. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for listening.